All right, EA Ermor, turn 83, and we're going to see if those Van Heers come out to play, or if we're going to get a Doom off on them. Niflheim claiming a throne, and we've discussed that. We're getting a throne claim in. This will help our Dominion situation, although probably a little bit too little too late, but still, it's nice to see our god up there. Also, we are trying to mind hunt. Yeah, so we're trying to mind hunt the Elves. They may not have that many commanders in there, and Elves have decent base magic resistance, right? So yeah, so one of them resisted, but we did get a kill off. So, you know, the fewer Van Heerses that we have to face off against, the better. And then we're bringing in various of our summons, doing a little bit of site searching. Not familiar with this site. We'll have to take a look. But yeah, gems are appreciated. That's really, yeah, speaking of gems, I don't know Double Bottom Lake either. So possibly we got some special sites, but definitely we got some gems. And then of course some of our regular searching didn't find anything, as happens. Okay, I think this is on top of Russ's throne, so he's probably just kicking us off. No, okay, he's raiding us down by Helheim, so got the province wrong. And so this is a white mage that has been empowered in blood, probably originally once in Amazon, I'm thinking. But not anymore, and like, yeah, we have no province defense, and this isn't a ton of kitting. Interestingly, has a ring of returning, but it's definitely going to be enough to take out our minimal slinger PD. So yeah, we'll have to figure out something for that. Luckily, we do have an army next door, and they should be able to kill a single white mage that's been lightly kitted. And then yeah, here we go, Battle in Russ, Niflheim attacking. Okay, no, just pinging, probably wise. So yeah, Russ isn't really patrolling with too much, right? He has a good amount of province defense, and then just has like some throwaway undead to, you know, just help keep out scouts and, you know, this, that, and the other. So we haven't really seen that Niflheim stack, at least in like a turn or two, but I'm assuming that it's probably still next door, or at least nearby, since he's pinging Russ's capital. And then of course AI Ubar attacking us. I don't think, oh no, we are defending here. Yeah, so a bunch of random garbage. Yes, a bunch of random garbage. But our garbage should be superior. Famous last words. I don't think there's any more gems, yeah, left on these mages. So like, yeah, you know, we've got a few trolls, our troll king, some white mage. Okay, no, excuse me, a lich, right? And then one of our flame spirits, and then just a little bit of our garbage. I think this is a caveman province, so we didn't bother investing in the province defense. And like, yeah, our garbage dies. But the trolls are pretty difficult for mundane troops to kill. And then yeah, we have some casters on advancing cast. Ooh, Phoenix Pyre from the AI, but of course they were fatigued out and didn't have any kit to support it, so it basically did nothing. And let's see what that cost us. Actually, we lost less of our garbage than I was expecting. So like, yeah, cost us very little. And then here we are raiding, I think this is the last province of Vanheim, at least, you know, in Abyssia's old lands, and like, yeah, no province defense, so our legionaries should be able to take that. Of course, our mages buff themselves. Good work. So I'll probably have to adjust that raiding group when we actually face off against an enemy that's going to be resisting us. And then let's see if we manage to get this Doom off. If we get hit, yeah, I think, yeah, if you're all the way in the, nope. Okay, so we lucked out. Of course, yeah, we had to power ourselves up to actually cast Doom here, which probably was a mistake. Yep. So we probably should have just given him enough gems, and then this is what we're going to be up against. But enough gems to cast Doom on like the first turn, and you know, he's just like a disease dying Elder Augur. So it's not a great loss, but still it is sad to not actually pull off the plan. Caster support wise, there isn't too much. So let's see, take a look and see if I can find any kitted Van Heerses. No, it doesn't look like there's any kit on any of these fellows. No gems really either, and importantly, it looks like it is only Van Heerses, who at Air 1 aren't great casters. They really like to have somebody that can put up Storm for them, and then they can cast Storm Power, and then they can all do Lightning Bolt, which can be pretty nasty if there's a lot of Van Heerses. And this is enough Van Heerses definitely to be painful, but they won't be able to do that. Of course, you know, the Van Heers, they need a chop, so like, they're going to have no problem doing their thing unless we get in their way, which we are hoping to do, right, with various things. And it looks like he chose to stay inside, which is good because we don't really have anything holding him in there. And we're still trying to rally something together, and then it looks like Femoria is going into Arcocephales' capital, This is kind of where I was hoping that stack of Van Heers were, but yeah, this fort is empty. Dang it, why did we get the one with all the Van Heers? Note to self, do the scrying before engaging in any diplomatic deals to make sure that you're not accidentally inheriting 100 Van Heers. Burden of time, of course, like whatever, not a big deal. People are disappearing. I'm sure it's fine. Hey, we find a treasure. That's good. And then one of our shamans got wounded. Not a big deal. This is going to be a little more annoying. Yeah, group of trolls. I feel like I was warned about this. So I definitely took no actions in preparation. So it looks like we're going to lose a province to some trolls. And then there is an arena deathmatch. We probably won't send anyone. We don't have a ton of commanders to be sparing. And then this will be us losing to the trolls. Yeah, just a little bit of slinger, province defense, but that's fine. We can take it back from trolls. And then we find some scouts. So this is possibly on top of our throne. I've brought in a couple of these Blackhawk groups. And then let's see. Yeah, this is in TNN. So yeah, we need to start doing more of this. This is like very late. Getting up patrollers. This game has not gone particularly brilliantly. And then so we've breached Helheim. That's good. That's where our army is or is next to. So we should be storming that soon. And then of course we know all about the situation in Abyssia. And then this fort is Russ's throne, which going very slowly because we don't really actually have, it's just a raiding group on top of it. We managed to get some starvation. That's rough. Okay, so this is where we're massing our other army, and it looks like I did not pay enough attention to how many supplies are there, / also since the world is dying, there's fewer supplies, than there used to be in places. And burden of time, there definitely is a cost, and it was a little high this turn, but it's fine. We can recruit more augurs. So yeah, I'll catch you guys after the cut. All right, this is the situation and what we're doing about it. A couple of moving pieces to this turn. I guess let's start with the north. So, Russ's massive stack on their capital is still unoccupied, so that's obviously dangerous for our own capital. He has left our canaries in place, and we're just going to leave them there, although it looks like it's about to collapse. Maybe have a few more turns before this guy dies, and this communion becomes completely ineffective. So we're just hoping that that stays where it is, or that it fights Niflheim, and because we have other problems, right? We have Van Heer problems. So, we're bringing up some reinforcements. We may bring up some more reinforcements from the capital. Again, we don't want to completely empty it out, because we might have to fight Russ as well. We're actually kind of splitting out. We're sending the Eagles home, right, because this force is starving by a pretty significant margin, both because burden of time, but also, Abyssia's death scales. There's really just not a lot of population in these lands and not a lot of supplies. So we are forging some supply items, and hopefully, with sending the Eagles home, getting some supply items out there and kind of like splitting up our forces a bit, we can eliminate that starvation. I think there's a good chance that the Van Heers come out this turn, and we just have a token defense there. So we are also going to send our twice-born augur to try to do like a Wind of Death trap. He does need some augurs to help communion up and let him actually cast that. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously our last attempt at cheesing got sniped by arrows. But if he comes out, I don't think there's any ranged component really, except the Van Heerses potentially in that army. So fingers crossed that, we will be able to get that spell off. Without any penetration items, I don't think we're going to get great results, especially against the elves that have slightly better magic resistance than normal. But, we really, right, that augur has been twice-born. We would like him to become a white mage as soon as possible. Also to that end, we are teleporting 2 of our other twice-born air death augur elders into this province here, primarily because there's a lab here, and then they can drop off the gear that they need in order to actually teleport. And then, same kind of thing. We'll either use them in our main army, or we'll use them in harassment attacks that are designed to get them killed. So that's more or less what we have going on in the north. In the more southerly areas, we have to get rid of these trolls, of course, just sending, an augur communion, a couple other random guys, some skeletons, some fire elementals. It should be fine. Also clearing out this rebellion here. With this augur communion, they'll probably continue on very slowly. They can't even get into this cave. I don't know. Eventually, they'll end up over here or over here, I think. And then we're also, trying to push back AI Ubar with, same kind of stuff that we've been using. We do want to move Wormlove into our main army pretty soon. We'll see. Speaking of our main army, we're risking it. So we're going to be storming with more or less everything except the Eagles this turn. And, if Rust decides to gateway units in, this could go badly. We don't see his Pretender available, but, we've talked about how he could be. And we do see one of his summons, right, flying over the army camp. And she certainly could be given an Astral Booster or a couple Astral Boosters and gateway in some troops. Although I believe the leadership isn't particularly high on those commanders. So with the amount of gear that she's going to need in order to actually cast gateway, she's not going to be able to carry very much leadership increasing items, so she's not going to be able to gateway all of these units in, but she could certainly gateway in a concerning number of skin shifters. So we'll see what Rust does. It's entirely possible that we go up against a significant defense. But it's also entirely possible that this is going to be an empty fort. So we'll see what happens there. We're not going to worry about this white mage too much just yet, although we did just get a death random. So we're going to move him in and try to do some dust to dust if he decides to raid on top of this fort. And I think that covers most of our movements and attacks for this turn. Recruitment-wise, not full mage recruitment. We're definitely cutting mages in a decent number of places. This is partially to support more Augur Elder recruitment this turn, kind of going back and forth on those guys. We're also recruiting more Equite of the Sacred Shroud and a bishop to bless them. So we've talked about how that's questionable. We're bringing in more mechanical men. This will probably be it for a little while because we're fairly low on earth gems, and we do want some earth gems available to hand out to our armies. And then continuing with what do we do with these air gems? We're going to forge some spirit helmets, which auto cast lightning bolt. Perhaps not the best use of Pretender turns, but I do think that having a few of those available will be useful. Again, we've talked about how Niflheim has shock resistance on the Bless, but it's probably still going to be one of the best ways to kill their thugs. Otherwise, no real troop recruitment, and we haven't really learned too much else diplomatically, although there has been some talk from Therados that Niflheim is pushing against some of the underwater thrones. So we might start to try to do some scrying. We're actually pretty far away from those thrones. So yeah, I'm not even sure that how worthwhile it is for us to garner that information because we can't really even act on it. That said, it would be useful to know if Niflheim is right on the verge of a throne victory so that we know how likely they are to attack our remaining thrones. We may also try to summon in some undead units that can scout underwater. So it'll take them a little while to get over there. So I don't know. We'll see. But regardless, it doesn't change the situation all that much, right? We were already worried about Niflheim being in a position to win. We're already thinking about okay, well, what thrones do we need to grab and try to defend? We may make a play for this throne down here. So it's kind of just moving in the direction that we were already thinking things were moving. So yeah, I think that covers turn 83.